This guy, Mark, was sneaking around a bathhouse, trying to spy on a woman taking a bath. Out of nowhere, a venomous snake shot out and bit him right on the eyelid. He dropped dead instantly. Inside, Emily, who was getting a massage, had no idea danger was closing in. Several snakes slipped into a bucket of water. A worker, unaware, lifted the bucket to rinse her off. And the moment the water hit, Emily felt a sudden chill. Within seconds, the entire bathhouse erupted into chaos. People ran in every direction, screaming. The worker who'd lifted the bucket wasn't so lucky. She was swarmed and killed on the spot. Realizing they couldn't stay, Sarah grabbed her daughter and headed for the exit. But just as they reached the doorway, two massive pythons blocked the path. A nearby worker tried to make a run for it, but one of the snakes twisted around him and crushed him like a rag doll. Terrified, Sarah pulled her daughter into a closet. They barely had a moment to breathe before a small snake slithered under the door. It crawled toward her face, and in panic, she burst out of the closet. But the hallway was worse. Every exit was overrun with snakes. Heart pounding, Sarah used a shirt to keep them at bay, trying to carve out a path. Suddenly, a venomous one blocked her way. She hurled a wash basin at it, then toppled a cabinet to slow down the others. She tried climbing over it, but didn't notice a huge python perched above, watching them. When she reached out to grab her daughter, the python lunged, slamming her to the floor. It targeted the little girl next, until Sarah grabbed a broom and charged, drawing the python toward herself. Just as it reared up to strike, its body got tangled in a metal fan. Sarah immediately cranked the fan to maximum speed, and as the blade spun faster, the python finally tore loose and was flung across the room. Outside the factory, snakes were already crawling across the yard, and the person responsible for all of this was Jason, the head of site security. He'd been illegally capturing snakes to sell their skins, and in doing so, he'd enraged the two-headed serpent king, which rallied every snake in the area and stormed the factory. The workers inside had no clue. They were casually watching a monster movie marathon. Suddenly a body fell from above, collapsing a curtain with it. They thought it was a prank, until a giant python burst out, hissing violently. People bolted instantly, all except one drunk old man, who became the python's next meal. Meanwhile, the factory manager was flirting with his assistant, unaware of the disaster outside. When he finally looked up and saw the room crawling with snakes, he panicked and ditched her, running for his life. The assistant, Linda, ripped off her eye mask and screamed at the sight. Running outside, she saw total carnage, workers scrambling, snakes everywhere. Before she could recover, she spotted a python as thick as a tree trunk coming straight at her. She spun around and ran. The workers below didn't stand a chance. The giant snake tore through them, and in desperation, the cowardly manager shoved a female employee toward it to buy himself time. She died instantly. He tried escaping, but was knocked unconscious by the python's tail. Linda, barely holding it together, ran straight into a man behind her. She grabbed him, a bespectacled office guy named Aaron, and covered his mouth, terrified the snake above them would hear. Neither realized it was the two-headed serpent king. Aaron signaled her to stay silent, then stepped on a rake. The metallic clank echoed, and the serpent king snapped toward them. They sprinted as the monster chased them down the hallway. The manager, who'd just regained consciousness, saw it coming and immediately played dead on the floor. Jason, watching through security